storm coming, and that boat started moving. Man, it was coming fast, picking up. It was packed in that boat full as it could get them, taking them back to shore. Because they knew that when a storm hits Lake Erie, it hits Lake Erie. Amen? Well, that's the way the Sea of Galilee was. When the storm hit, it was a shallow lake. And when the storms hit, man, it would throw the water. It would be great waves, and it would throw boats, and it would capsize boats. And there were many people. You remember when they seen him come walking on the water? The reason they thought he was a ghost, because there was rumors, there was legends that all of the boats that was capsized, that whenever you were out in the boat in a storm, if you happened to see the spirit, it was the spirit of those that had been capsized and drowned in that lake throughout the centuries that had gone by. And so when they seen a spirit, they thought it was their time to go. So that's why they freaked out when they seen Jesus walking on the water. Number one, they're in a storm. Number two, they see what they thought was a spirit. And Peter was saying, look, I'm going to go one way or the other. Jesus, if it's you, bid me to come. And so when he stepped out of the boat, he didn't get out of the boat like you would normally get out of a boat. How do you get out of a boat? You get onto the edge and you go down feet first. No, he stepped over. Faith steps over. Faith takes one step at a time. Faith don't dive in. Faith steps in. And so now in a different situation, Jesus is in the boat this time. He's not walking on the water. He's in the boat, but he's sleeping. And that boat is tossing and turning and throwing it around, and they're scurrying about. They're trying to row to shore, but they're struggling. And finally somebody looked around and said, where's Jesus? You ever felt like, where's Jesus? Dennis, you ever look around and say, where's Jesus? Where are you at in this situation? Oh, man, I'm about to go under. Man, the storm's ready to take me under. Where is Jesus? I want to know, God, where are you in the times that I need you most? Man walking on the beach, and he looked back and he seen there's only one footstep and one footprints, and he asked, oh, you've heard it. And he asked the Lord, he said, Lord, in the most difficult times of my life, I noticed there was only one set of footprints. Where were you? And Jesus said, those were the days I was carrying you. Quit questioning, quit doubting God. He's there. Just because things look perilous, just because things look difficult, just because things look hopeless, doesn't mean that He's not there and there's not hope. Faith is a substance of things hoped for. You can't even have faith without first having hope. And I'm not talking about worldly hope. Worldly hope is, I sure hope I win the lottery tonight. Worldly hope is, well, we've done all we can do for your sick family member, but we can only hope now. That's not hope that we're talking about. My hope generates faith. It starts out as hope, and it generates and it develops and it grows and it matures into faith to where I can walk. See, I had faith. When my daughter's mother was laying there, they said her brain was so damaged no one had ever come out of it. And I said, yeah, but you don't know who I know. You don't know the God that I serve. You promised me that I would be used to raise the dead. Well, if she's dead, then I'll raise her. But see, God had other plans. Does that ruin my faith?
No.
It could. It could destroy my faith. But God reminded me, hey, I got more important things that's involved here. Her eternal soul is more important than how long she lives on earth. I could raise her up and then she lives to be 99 and go to hell. Amen. I don't know her situation. Only God knows. But God said, look, I already got her here. I ain't letting her go. Amen. I went in to pray for my lifeless My son-in-law's lifeless body, he'd been dead 3 hours. How many of you know God can't raise anybody up after 3 hours? Wait a minute, was that Lazarus that was in the grave 4 days? Was that Lazarus in the grave 4 days? I go in there and I start praying. I wait till everybody left because I didn't want everyone to know I was crazy. I went in and I started praying. I says, I command you life back into this body. And the Lord dropped it in my spirit. Wait a minute. He's been in heaven for 3 hours. You think he wants to come back here? I heard Joan Hunter on TV the other day, and she said that, you know, she had been abused and molested by an uncle when she was a child. She had a father that had no desire to even know her. And she grew up with her mother, and her mother was now in her 50s. And she got saved, and she met a man by the name of Charles Hunter. And Frances, the mother Frances, she had no intention on even looking at this man twice, but he did everything he could to win her heart. And here she was a couple years older than him, so she was married a younger man, but she married this man, and God gave them one of the most tremendous ministries back in the 80s, a healing ministry. They traveled all over the world. Well, they both have gone to be with the Lord now, and now their 64-year-old, her 64-year-old daughter, and Charles's daughter as well, who was already 13 when he met her. How many of you know that you might have a daughter or son that you haven't met yet? Are you listening to me? Amen. See, I had a son that I didn't even know until he was like 16. His name is Brandon back there.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Had another one I didn't know until he was like 42. Another one that I didn't know until he was around 40. Are you listening to me?
Yes. Yes.
People will bring people into your life that will become your spiritual son or your spiritual daughter, or in some cases your son or daughter in Charles's case. But here this lady, she'd gone through all kinds of mess, and then she married this man, been married to him for 25 years, and find out after about 13 years that he was a homosexual and started having all kinds of homosexual relationships and didn't think it was wrong because it wasn't a woman. Finally, after 25 years, they divorced. And she got breast cancer. Told God, she said, I was rejoicing, I was going home. No more hurt, no more pain. The cancer was nothing compared to the pain that I've experienced throughout my life. She said, finally, one day I woke up and I realized, you know what? I might go home and all my pain be over, but then I got to leave all this pain behind to my daughters and my grandchildren. And she said, I shall live and not die and proclaim the works of the Lord. And now here this woman, I met her a few years ago, a sweet lady, very, very nice lady, anointed with the gifts of prophecy. If you recall, when Chad was here a few months ago, he said that he kept seeing water spouts coming from heaven and pouring down on this place and on different places. And I told you that Joan Hunter, was over Tim Walker's, and she said, I see, but she explained it more like satellite signals. She said, I see it looks like satellite signals coming down on this place. And she's in, Brother Tim, over on your place too, and all over here, all over Cleveland. How many of you know God's ready to move?
Yes, he is.
Amen. So this lady got healed and delivered and set free, and now she's going around preaching the gospel because she determined that she wasn't going to let the devil kill her. You want the devil to kill you? He will if you want him to. So Jesus is in the. You thought I forgot about that, didn't you? Jesus was in the bottom of the boat being tossed and turned and thrown about, and the men panic, and all of a sudden they look around, where's Jesus? And somebody said, I think he might still be in the boat.
Might be still in the boat.
So they ran down in the bottom of the boat, and they found him down there sleeping. Now I'm going to tell you something. You don't sleep in the midst of a storm unless one of two things. You're either extremely tired or you're just very confident.
Yes.
And in his case, I believe it was both.
Yes.
He was tired because this man tried